So I want to give my Packers versus Vikings prediction. Games tomorrow. I'm still in Oklahoma, so this video is once again in my car and will probably be a lot shorter than usual. But looking at this game, the biggest thing in my mind, thinking back to week 4 when the Packers lost to the Vikings 31-29, almost came back. Last time Jordan Love was hobbling around on one leg, he had just come back from his MCL injury. The Vikings were bringing the blitz as they typically do. They have the highest rate of blitzing in the NFL. And Jordan Love, because of his MCL sprain, was not able to maneuver well enough to, escape the pocket, do what he typically does, escape sacks. He ended up throwing 3 picks in that game. I think a big factor was his health. And now here we are, almost to the playoffs, and Jordan Love is very healthy, and he's been playing some of his best football recently. He is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL when it comes to escaping pressures, avoiding sacks. He is one of the lowest sacked quarterbacks in the NFL. And so I think that's the biggest thing about this game. The Packers lost last time by 2 with a hobbled Jordan Love. This time, Jordan Love will not be hobbled, and so I expect the Packers to win it. That's sort of my biggest factor here, because when you look at every other aspect of this game, these teams are 2 of the, I'd say, most evenly matched teams in the NFL. Looking at their offenses, very similar statistic-wise. Defense, the Vikings are slightly better, 3rd best scoring defense. The Packers, 6th best scoring defense. And this game is going to be a good watch, no doubt, whatever fan base it is, just because I do think that it's going to be a very close game. As I said, 2 teams that are very evenly matched. But, when you look at the Vikings and their defense, they're a very good defense. And as I said, they blitz a ton. They're one of the most aggressive teams in the NFL when it, comes to blitzing. But I think now with Jordan Love healthy, he's going to be able to escape the pocket and, maneuver better than he did back in week 4 and last time the Packers only lost by 2. The other big thing for the Packers, they need to get off to a fast start. The last time they played, they were down 28-7, almost came back. But against teams that are as good as the Vikings, you can't give them that much of a head start. The Packers need to come out firing quickly. I expect them to. I think the Packers, if they, win the coin toss, should take the ball and try to sort of build that momentum right away. When you look at the Vikings and their offense, Sam Darnold has been so much better than I expected him to be this year. I honestly did not think he was going to be this good. Looking at his past time, different teams, he struggled a ton, was very inaccurate. And this season, he has been one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the NFL, 2nd in completion percentage over expected. The past 6 or so games, he's at about 15 touchdowns to 1 interception. So he has been playing some of the best football in the NFL at the quarterback position, especially the past month or so. And Jordan Love has as well. He hasn't thrown a pick since November, I think, 17th. And so I do wonder, when you look at these 2 defenses, the Packers are 2nd in takeaways per game at 1.9. The Vikings are 1st in takeaways per game at 2. And so it's going to be interesting to see how it's all going to play out when you have the quarterbacks playing really clean football lately. Who's going to throw that pick that could potentially alter the game. It's going to be something to watch in this one. I do think whoever wins the turnover battle likely wins this game, as typically that happens in the NFL. The last time the Packers played, they had 4 turnovers, the Vikings 3, and it was a very close one there. The thing for the Packers, they are going to be without Jair Alexander, I think for the 9th game this season. He wasn't there back in the first meeting. The Packers will also be without safety Evan Williams, also linebacker Quay Walker. But they have been without Williams a couple games. They've been without Walker a couple games. And I think we've still seen that the Packers defense has enough firepower to, I think, still play good football. They had a shutout last game against the Saints, not a good team. They held the Seahawks to 13 the game before that. And the one big thing that has really changed a lot is the Packers pass rush is actually sacking the quarterback very frequently now. They're 6th or 7th in the NFL now in sacks. And so that's been a big change from early on in the season where they were struggling to get consistent pressure. So that's something they need to do they need to get a lot of pressure here against Sam Darnold. When you look at Darnold this year, his offensive line, it hasn't been very good. I think they have the 9th most sacks allowed. So I do think the Packers can take advantage there. The Vikings do have insane talent, when it comes to, receivers. Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison. Jefferson's, the best receiver in the NFL. And so, you'd hope to have Jair back to sort of see if the Packers, could potentially, hold them in check a little bit more with Jair out there. I think the answer would be yes if he was fully healthy. But who knows with Jair? I don't even know if he's going to be back for the playoffs now. Not that I've seen anything new. It's just you'd expect for some positive news up to this point. And it seems like it continues to be, negative news for Jair. So hopefully he's healthy soon. And Vikings rushing game isn't the greatest. They're not that great when you look at overall yards per game. Aaron Jones, I think, is still an effective runner of the football. And the Packers, on the other hand, their rushing attack has been their foundation. They're around third when it comes to rush yards per game in the NFL. And I think when you have that running back you can really rely on, like Josh Jacobs, it does take the pressure off of Jordan Love's shoulders, and he doesn't have to do as much. Now, if the Vikings can shut down Josh Jacobs, I think, Jordan Love has that ability to take over. He has that ability to put the team on his shoulders. And I think the question is, can he, if the Packers do get down, can he bring them back? He almost did last time. But I'm hoping this time they don't need to be brought back. Hopefully they can get off to, a very quick start. But this should be a very fun game, a very close game. But honestly, the big factor in my mind is Jordan Love healthy. Last time he wasn't, lost by 2. Jordan Love healthy, that's at least worth 3 points in my mind. So that's why I think the Packers are going to win this game. And I think the big thing for the Packers going forward, getting ready for the playoffs, the narrative that's been talked about recently, which I think because it's true, I do think we need to think about it. The Packers have lost to some of the best teams in the league. They're like 0-4 to some of these best teams like the Eagles. That was week 1. The Lions lost twice. The Vikings lost once. And so if the Packers lose to the Vikings this week, I would expect most people to really question what the Packers can do playoff-wise. And I think it's a reasonable thing to bring up. If they can't beat any of these great teams, why should they be able to beat these same teams in the playoffs? If they do lose against the Vikings tomorrow, do I think they can win the playoffs? Sure. And things can change, and they've been really close in these games. But it would feel very good as a Packers fan to say, okay, we actually beat a really, really good team. The Packers can go in confidently knowing like they can do it. I think they will even if they don't win tomorrow. But it would just, I think, do a lot for everyone to see the Packers, beat one of these top-tier teams in the NFL. Because come playoff time, you're going to have to beat, 3-4 teams that are of this caliber. And so I do think it should be a very good game. And I'm hoping the Packers can pull off the victory. But I'm giving the Packers a victory here personally. I'm going to say the Packers win this one 27-24. So those are my thoughts. I'll, be back in Texas soon, so I won't be filming my car pretty much as often. I sometimes do it in my car here just because it's easier. I obviously don't bring my whole camera setup here to Oklahoma with me. But anyways, I just got some Starbucks and I decided to sit down and film a quick video because I've put out a prediction video before every game this season. I needed to get one out once again. So I got that one out. But I'll be back this next week, probably making a lot more videos. I was just taking a short break around Christmas time. But thank you guys for watching as always, and I'll see you guys next time.